Peace and blessings, beloveds. This is your favorite spiritual auntie, Reverend Chakra, Wanda. Beginning to start another piece that I have. I'm actually repurposing a canvas that I originally had a design on and never completed. And I had it in storage for about a year or so. So I am applying black paint. I'm doing sort of a faded background. And again, this is over another painting. But I'm going to use black and red to create the background. And so I want to talk about repurposing your life. There may be some things that you've had been holding on for a long time. You've been contemplating shifting into a different experience in your life. Let's just talk about career and life work. You've been on a job or at a business for a very long time. I mean years. You've had a passion for the work. And then all of a sudden, it's like the faucet runs dry. As a business owner, your client or customer base reduced dramatically. You're not getting the volume you used to. Or if it's a career, promotions aren't coming through, you're getting burnt out at your job, the climate has changed, something drastic has happened. And so now you're sitting in front of your life, and you're sitting in your life garden, and it comes to mind to pay attention to what stands out, the other gifts and skills and talents that you have, seeds that you have been given, possibilities and opportunities. So how do you want to move forward? How do you cross the bridge into the new experience? And you recognize you've been at this juncture before, but you've been successful at transitioning from one career to another. So we were talking about changes in career or life work. It could be even major changes in a relationship. Yeah, so crossing the bridge, you come to the edge of an understanding and awareness that you are to cross the bridge into your calling. And so you get stuck in the how. Now, you've been able to transition before. You've come to the same place, but things begin to manifest faster when you see yourself already being in that role or having that particular type of relationship that honors and where you honor each other, and also the work that you do honors the passion that you've been born with to do that new work. But it does feel difficult from the third dimensional view, the survival point. It does feel difficult. So it's a constant challenge to go back and forth between third dimensional view of the situation, feeling the lack, feeling the limitation, feeling the anxiety. But when you remember to calm yourself down and get into a quiet space, you may have even come to the end of your life when it comes to living from the 3D. Hear what I say. You may have come to the end of your life, right, when it comes to the idea of living from the third dimensional view. So this thing has happened. This unexpected shock that has put a wrench in everything that you've been doing. So you recognize you've seen this before, and you're recognizing the feelings that have come up have played before. You're beginning again. So now is the time to put those things in practice that you've been learning along your journey of a spiritually awakened life. You've learned to use your intuition. You've learned to get quiet. You've learned to open up to the subconscious, unconscious, and the awareness of the collective conscious mind. Yes. So let's see the vision of a house. And you go up a few steps and go into the entrance. You're on the first floor. Let's consider that the third dimension. And 2 floors above that are the fourth and the fifth. The fourth dimension is time. And the fifth dimension is where visioning, when activated, is a fertile ground for manifesting in your outer world. Now, let's go back to the first floor, the third dimension. There are floors beneath that. You have your subconscious floor. Beneath that is the unconscious floor. And then beneath that is the collective, consciousness. And that is where you tap into the consciousness of the beliefs that are collectively believed in the consciousness of the world, of the community of human beings on the planet. And there are programs and ideas and beliefs that have been hard-coded into you upon your arrival on Earth. And so you see, when we are born as a baby, there are possibly 2 to 3 things that you're hard-coded with. First is understanding how to operate your physical avatar, your physical body, with 5 physical senses. The second thing is what's imprinted upon you is the transmission of the world, the programming messages of not enough, survival, you'll not make ends meet, you always have to be worried about something. And you learn, though, you're trained on how to actually begin to balance that way of living. And then one other element, you may get introduced to an awareness of a higher creative essence called God, and the box of the awareness and the ingraining of the teachings of traditional religions. So those are the guaranteed 3 things that you are encoded with. And then from 0 to 7, age 0 to 7, many beliefs are beginning to imprint themselves, and even up until the age of 35, where it finally gets hard-coded. But you're never introduced, not many families are aware to do this. It depends on your culture when you were born in the world. There's some beautiful cultures that honor their spiritual teachings, such as being connected to nature, intuitively leading your life in a way where nature is a great part of it, paying attention to synchronicities and divine signs. You may even be nurtured and comforted and encouraged when you exhibit spiritual gifts as a child, as a baby. Some children are born with knowing intuitively. They're also mediumship, where they can connect with those on the other side. There's those that have vision gifts, that have hearing gifts, that have sensing gifts. So yeah, those beautiful attributes that make up the rest of your divine beingness. Being aware of your auric field, being aware of your chakra system, being aware of the brainwave pattern or brainwave frequencies, especially the alpha and theta frequency of your brainwave. The beta frequency is when you're conscious and you're driving and you're doing activities. Alpha is when you're just, you've laid down to go to sleep, so you go into a particular state, and then you go further into theta, which is a space where you can ask questions of the universe, of the divine, of the Holy Spirit, of the angels, and guardians that travel with you in this dimension. And there to help you, support you, and protect as well. So coming in as an infant, you're not made aware of all the co-creative powers that you have, how you've been highly, fearfully and wonderfully made. So here you are in your life now. You have gone through a spiritual awakening because of something that has occurred unexpectedly and maybe even put you in a traumatic state. All right? Like losing a job or a business that all of a sudden, you don't no longer have customers, or business coming in. Things have changed. It's not what you're used to. So you come to this place and you're like, wow, you've learned how to operate from the observer mind. So what's next? So beloved, first I'll stop and say thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for liking, sharing, forwarding, and commenting. Are you a multi-creative like I am? Do you like art? I began painting during the 2020 shut-in, and by a challenge from a fellow art creative to get some paint and a canvas, and began to do what's called fluid art, pour painting, where you poured paint into small cups, layers at a time, and pour it on the canvas and move the canvas around. It's a very abstract form. Started with small canvases, 8.5 by 10 or 8.5 by 11, and then went further up to about 16 by 20. But I don't have that much space in my home, and it gets pretty messy. So then I began to draw and then paint in what I drew. My work is pretty abstract. I like mixed media as well, putting different textures into the canvas. I've worked with glue gun to give a raised texture to the lines at times. So still experiment with different techniques. And so repurposing this canvas is really a great analogy for repurposing life. And intuitively, I'm led to use the colors that I'm using. I continue to turn the canvas around to see if I see images, if it should be orientated a particular way. So in applying that to our lives, when it comes to going back to the edge of that bridge that needs to be crossed, and you're coming into new territory, so you're painting the canvas of your life over, and then you are imprinting upon it, the lines of the directions that you want to go in, and you let then the dream or the vision on the canvas that you started, that you're repurposing, you let yourself be led by the energy and the direction that new picture wants to go in. So as you begin to write you have to literally write a new script. And one of the powerful ways that has been successful in me for my life is actually using your own voice. So getting your phone, right? And you want to record two things. And you're going to be, I would suggest, in order for cleansing to occur in the subconscious, unconscious mind, for those things that you have limited thinking around, you want to really get into visioning as if you are a seed being planted in the soil of the universe. Okay? And record two things. First, both recording your voice, but the first recording will be the statement or the story of what you're going through right now. If it is a relationship that you've had for a long time and there is turbulence that's going on, you're seeing that either both of you are growing apart or you're not growing together. It may sound like the same thing, but you'll find yourself in this spiritual awakening journey and your partner may not be. You're learning new information. You're beginning to study things that are outside of what everyone expects you to do. So you're going to record in this present moment although I'm experiencing a shift in relationship or in business affecting finances, what I know is I'm always provided for. What I know is that whatever I can think about and dream about, I can allow myself to be about it as well. Recognizing that I have divine support. So, you're writing something like that, but about the story or the situation. So from that, you've written it and then you review it and point out an opposite statement that you want to fashion that you want to create. So, for example, the opposite of what I just said. The second recording would be like this. I'm so happy and grateful now that my business is continuing to excel. I'm enjoying meeting people who have been looking for exactly what I deliver. I enjoy living a life where I don't feel like I'm working, but I am flowing with grace and ease. It feels great to live a life fully awakened, and I'm looking forward to more miracles and daily signs to show up that affirms that I am worthy and deserving of an opulent life. Okay, so you've done those 2 recordings. And you're going to want to listen, especially to the second one. Maybe the first one, you do both together. Listen to both upon going to sleep. And then each night thereafter, you want to do this. I want to say try 7 days and then see if you can go further to 21 days or as long as you need. And you can create recordings that are the story and then the future vision, right? The story and the future vision, because you're reprogramming, you're reformatting and re-scripting. And as you go to sleep at night, that is being embedded into your subconscious, unconscious mind. So, yeah, repurposing your life. There's only one main thing in life that's guaranteed, and that is change, beloved. And know that you do have what it takes to navigate the change. It is also good to have vision partners in your life, 1 or 2, no more than that, that know how to hold space. It's good to have accountability partners as well. And here, the work that I do, first of all, I'm a multi-creative and an artist. Right at this moment, looking at this painting, I'm playing with gold flakes. What do they call them officially? Yeah, well, gold flakes. And accenting the painting with the gold flakes. This stuff is beautiful, but very tricky. As you see, it's very fly away. But yeah, I'm excited to show the rest of this. Continue to watch. I'm very proud of this particular work. But again, repurposing for a new purpose. So again, this was an original canvas that I got stuck with and stayed in storage for a year. So, then moving through inspiration, began to repurpose and paint over it. So with the idea that's pulling you into this new career or a shift in relationship where, maybe it's time for you to romance yourself, to go down into that subconscious, unconscious mind and reprogram your beliefs about the relationship or career and life work. Identify the resistances. One other method that I could share with you in helping yourself to strengthen your and reset your conscious mind is seeing all of yourselves, addressing and working with all of yourselves. There are many selves. You are a multidimensional being. First of all, now I'm going a little bit more deep. Consider the possibility that not only do you exist here in the third dimension on Earth, but there are parallel lives that you have on the other dimensions. I believe in my research, some state there's 10 dimensions, some state there's 11, but there's one of you in each. Just imagine. And if you would go into the heart through guided meditation to speak with and align with all those parts of yourselves, reframe the recordings coming from the unconscious, subconscious mind, and see it yourself doing it in unison with all other parts of yourself. So here is the final piece. And so the same thing is going to happen for you. Repurpose with what you already have to work with, beloved. Take care.